House, which is allegedly one of the most haunted mansions in the whole of Europe. Later in the programme, we'll be trying out some experiments which have never before been seen on television in an attempt to catch live evidence of paranormal activity. Our research team have already recorded some things they can't explain, and we'll be analysing those throughout the show. But can the team actually prove that ghosts exist? Find out during Haunted Halloween, live.
He likes the ladies, don't you? I do.
There's supposedly, I've never seen her, only almost like a cloud across the moon, of a grey lady walking across the grass outside the long gallery and the grand salon windows, and that is carrying either a bundle of clothes or a child.
I can see her down there.
Is this the woman that
Yes.
you were linking with before?
Yes, I can see her.
And she's aware of you again?
Absolutely, she's aware of me. I can sense her presence.
Well, I was in the garden and I was aware of a lady present in the garden with a parasol, and she twisting the parasol around in a sort of Edwardian or late Victorian outfit.
Okay.
That's what I felt. I felt that there were children around her, but I didn't know whether she was a nurse or the mother.
Marion, when Paul, as we see him there, is saying he's seeing a figure in front of him, what's he actually seeing?
As far as I'm aware, Paul perceives spirit. That's like seeing it in his mind's eye.
So you could say he's perhaps imagining it?
Well, yes, you could say
I hope
that.
his wife doesn't know. What about you? Do you experience spirits in the same way?
No, I've always been able to see spirit in a three-dimensional image.
So you're actually seeing them with your eyes?
I'm seeing them with my eyes.
And Paul is perceiving them in his mind?
Perceiving them in his mind, yes.
OK. What about these orbs that people talk about? I mean, we've seen these in the past.
Well, this is
what
what
do you
we've
think
been
they are?
actually doing, is we've been, as I'm seeing spirit, we've been taking a photograph, and what's actually coming out is not the person that I'm actually seeing, but this orb of light, this fabulous globe.
OK. And you were telling me earlier on we're not to call them orbs, we've got to call them fantastic globes.
That's right.
OK. When you see the globes... Oh, thanks very much, Lee. We're back to you later on. Thanks very much, Marion.
Thanks.
It's not spirit, but there's an energy there. It could be an electric cable or water pipe.
Something, yeah.
But it's just something there.
What is it you can feel when you do that? What's it you're actually feeling with your hand?
It's like you know when you put your hand over an ioniser?
Yeah.
It's similar to the breeze that you feel off of an ioniser.
OK, so the sort of a static.
Yes.
Yes, OK.
The long gallery wasn't in use, and basically we were going across to go down the old staircase. We noticed that the lights were on in the long gallery, and the person who was with me, we jokingly said, "Oh, it must be the ghost," and he ran down the stairs and left me to it. So what I did, I went in the room to switch the lights off, but I couldn't get past the fireplace. But the set of lights which were on were further into the long gallery. So, you know, I'm afraid the lights got left on all night.
There's a coldness here.
Why is it that I'm never able to experience the coldness that you and other mediums feel?
It's all about senses. It's all about your senses, and you'll often see a medium go like this.
Yeah.
It's like a breeze, a soft breeze blowing against you, and so you put your hand in, and seeing if it isn't a draft, it is it is an energy.
If it's the real thing.
Is it the real thing?
And there's one here now.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Well, I'm up here in the attic, which is supposed to be the most haunted part of the house. It's a long, steep climb. Now, this place is supposed to be home to a poltergeist, but the only thing crashing about at the moment is me. But it does feel a bit uneasy, to say the least. I'm going to move forward into this room here. Oh, God. There's a strange feeling in here. It's like an electrical charge, like it's very uneasy. It looks like a bedroom of some sort. It could have been a child's bedroom, but I think you get more than you bargain for if you spend the night in here. I'm getting out of here anyway. I'll go back downstairs now.
William Langhorne is the ghost that is most seen through the house because he's the most distinctive, and he wears a period costume and he's in solid form rather than a grey film as most of them are. He was known as a ladies' man, and there have been instances where people have had their bottoms tweaked.
I like this one though.
He likes the ladies, don't you? I knew that. I have a feeling that's not wine is not all he indulges in. Would I be right?
This gentleman came over, almost as if he walked in, very authoritative. Beautiful brocade waistcoat.
So you actually saw him?
I saw him.
Okay.
Quite a chubby man with a long, white, powdery type wig. Like the judges wear.
Sort of Edwardian or Georgian?
Earlier than that.
Right.
This was a beautiful waistcoat with a heavy brocade jacket with the cuffs turned back. It was... I'm not very good at history, but he was definitely... He wanted to know what I was doing here.
Okay.
And I got it was a strange name. It was like Ray or Weir or something like that. It was a W.
As we can see there, and I'm sure the viewers saw, you were making a pass at Maz. Do you actually remember doing that?
Well, I actually have a little recollection of that incident. When I'm in trance, you've got to understand that spirit are communicating directly through me, and I'm not really aware of what's being said.
Do you also, as well, I don't know if you remember, when Andy was sat next to you, you actually shunned Andy as well, and you were just interested in us three women there. Do you ever remember that part?
I have no recollection of that at all.
No?
No, none at all.
How does it actually feel when you're in that trance? Can you feel anything that's actually happening to you?
Not at the time. When I come out of trance sometimes, if the spirit that's been communicating through me has a strong personality or is very emotional, I will have an after effect. It's very brief, but I will feel that emotion or the sadness or their personality, but only for a brief time.
Well, it must be an amazing experience, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
The one in the attic is not William Langhorne, but seems to be more of a poltergeist, childlike apparition, as it were.
Mary, sir.
Mary, hello, Mary.
Hello.
And what do you do, Mary?
I need tender fire, sir. Servant.
A servant. I bet the work's hard. Do you enjoy?
Yes,
Who
sir.
who do you serve? Who's your master?
Mrs. Norris, sir, downstairs.
Mrs. Norris?
Yeah.
Does Mrs. Norris have a husband? Mrs. Norris is in charge of you.
Housekeeper.
Cook. Yeah. You work in the kitchens.
Fires, I do fires. Just the fires.
Who's the master of the house?
Master. Just
the master. And how old are you?
8.
8? Betty. Well, this is interesting because some paranormal activity was actually picked up by mediums just down here. So whether or not she's sensing anything or not is difficult to assume, but let's have a look. What you got, girl? What are you sniffing out? She's very well.
So, Maz, do you actually think dogs actually have a psychic power?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's well known and documented that dogs can hear and sense and see things better than we can.
So have you actually been with an animal when it's actually picked up the same kind of feelings that you're feeling?
I have seen animals react when I've been working in a mediumistic way. And so I know that they're sensing something around me and something in the room.
Okay. Thank you ever so much for that, Maz. Cheers.
So you're sitting around in a group of people in Charlton House in the dark?
We were in the long room at the top of the Charlton House, and there were three of us in the room. There was myself, the cameraman, and another gentleman. He was about 25 feet along the gallery. It's a very long gallery. I was sitting by the fireplace. The cameraman was sitting in front of me. Suddenly, there was a tremendous explosion inside the gallery.
Wow.
We rushed to switch the lights on, and lo and behold, in the middle of the gallery was a cup broken into 5 sections.
Professor Christopher French, thanks for joining us. You are a psychologist. Now, you've been watching the various clips that we've shown with the mediums going around the house and tuning in allegedly to the ghosts. What do you make of what they're actually doing?
Well, I can't say I've seen anything there that would actually, convince me at the moment.
So you're open to the possibility?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, the general problem is that, there's an awful lot of ways in which people might think that there's some kind of connection. So if we see that the mediums pick up on some kind of energy from apparently the same place, then maybe that's a connection.
So you think we're reading coincidences, or perhaps
I think
we
well
look at coincidences,
I think
really?
may well be.
Okay.
If something coincides with the historical record, then that's seen as a match. If something coincides with something that other people have seen on entirely different occasions, then that's seen as a match. But there's an awful lot of room for coincidences there.
Okay. So not convinced just yet.
Not convinced just
but there's
yet.
still time.
Who knows?
If you actually had a paranormal experience, what do you think it would be? Actually seeing a ghost? Something solid?
Well,
You're not open to that, are you?
Well, no, if it
Thanks for
happens-
joining us.
Okay.
Fetch Alice.
Fetch Alice.
Fetch Alice.
Did they take Alice away?
Are you her mother? Can you give us your name?
Charles.
Charles. Hello, Charles.
Fetch.
Who's taken Alice? Do you know who's taken?
Sister. Oh, below stairs. Fetch Alice. For God's sake! Fuck! Charles! Fuck! Oh. Fine, Charles! Alice, Alice. Oh, Alice. 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 Alice.
Do you feel anything coming up here?
I do. Just here.
There.
Yeah. A presence there.
That's quite interesting.
Okay, I'm getting a small presence, like a lady.
Right.
Okay. I'm feeling quite a lot of emotion with this lady, and I feel she's running downstairs.
The feeling's getting stronger and I feel quite tearful.
Is this still
I
the
feel-
lady that
yes.
you're connecting with?
I feel quite anxious. I want to look over the banister. Okay, we'll go on.
Ooh, spooky stuff. Well, that certainly sent a few shivers up my spine. That's all for part 1. Join us in part 2 for the live experiments never before seen on TV. See you then. Halloween Live. Now, Clive and Jan, you are both historical researchers and you've been digging around in these books trying to find out if anything corroborates with the mediums. What have you found so far?
Certainly some of the names they've picked up on we can match with local census records.
OK, what names have you actually come up with that match?
Alice and a Mary, and basically they're house servants.
OK, now Mary and Alice obviously are quite common names, I think you have to agree, especially in the era that we're looking at. What particular aspects of those characters match what Marion and Paul have said in the séance situations?
Basically, the mentioning of starting fires, or
tending the fires.
Tending the fires, well, yes, that's right.
And that would have been something that Mary would have done.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, she was a kitchen maid, which would have been one of her duties.
OK, what about the William character that we had? Have you found him at all?
Oh, yes.
The naughty ghost.
There's lots about William.
He's the one you want to meet, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
What did you find out about him, Jan?
William was, he purchased Charlton House in 1680. He was a bachelor.
So he actually owned the building?
Yes, he did. He lived here with his brother, and they had lots of bachelor parties.
OK, we won't go there.
So, you know, he was a ladies' man.
He definitely was a ladies' man.
Yes,
sure.
Definitely.
Yes, I was, and he definitely was.
Yeah.
With Alice, is there any, in the books, is there any information of her actually getting lost in any way that they were saying in the séance?
We looked for Alice as much as we could, and basically this is, the census only go back to 1851 anyway.
Right.
So, you know, this is the Alice that we found.
That's the only one that you've got?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got more digging to do. I know you've been in the local libraries and places. Lots more to do. Do you use the internet as well?
We have, yes.
Yes, very limited
on
the internet, but...
Done all you can, basically. Thanks very much for your research.
Okay.
Thank you. Working on it, and thanks both very much indeed. Well done.
Hi, Chris. Well, it's good to see you again. This is Roger Allsop, who's in charge of this weird and wonderful equipment. Roger, what's actually going on here? What are you going to try and do with this?
Well, this is a different sort of television studio, really. Normally, we can see what we're doing, but all this equipment is designed to work in total darkness, so we can't see it at all. But the cameras can.
So it's a perfect kind of apparatus for the old Ghostbusters.
Well, we hope so. I mean, let's try it and see. But certainly, if you can see it by eye, it should get picked up on this camera. If you can't see it by eye, it might get picked up on this camera.
I'm intrigued.
It's called BVS, Beyond the Visible Spectrum. So we're operating outside of the limits of the human eye, and in fact, most animal eyes as well. Cats can't see this equipment working, but we can watch them trying to go about their business. You know.
So Betty the dog wouldn't have any idea what's going on?
None at all. We watch foxes at home in our garden, and they have no idea that we can see them closely up on camera.
OK, now the idea of this experiment is to try and track these spectral orbs.
Right.
How successful do you think we'll be with this type of equipment?
Well, as I understand it, we sometimes see them by eye, and a lot of times when we don't. This might help for the times when we don't see it.
Right. OK. So, you never know, guys. We may get something from this, let's hope. And it's called BVS.
Yes, it's Beyond the Visible Spectrum.
Let's see.
That is actually a lamp. This is a camera. The camera is very similar to a studio camera, not quite the same shape, and it hasn't got quite the same design capacity built into it, but nevertheless it works very much the same. And I'll just fire it at that lamp and see if it's working.
OK, thanks very much. Let's cut back and let's hope we can get some results.
Indeed.
Brilliant. OK.
So, out of all the results so far that you found, which would you say has been the most prominent that's come out to you, what the mediums have picked up so far?
Definitely William Langhorne.
Yeah?
Yes,
he's definitely a strong character in this building, isn't he?
Yeah.
And as you were saying earlier, something about they walked around the houses with dogs as well, that you felt they've picked up on as well. What was that?
Yeah, it has been recorded that a warder used to walk around the house with his dog and used to get agitated on the spot on the landing.
Okay. And
so,
also you were saying about when we were picking up the chills as well at the bottom of the staircase, that was something you're saying that's quite significant as well.
Recorded. We found in historical research that the bottom of the stairs is a well-known chill. There's a chill.
A lot of people have
picked it up.
Yes, they have.
With William, would you say that in information we picked up, that he's definitely a ladies' man.
Yeah,
And we've seen quite a few women back in the house with these shenanigans, would you say?
Oh yes, it's definitely known to pinch their bottoms, and on a regular basis it's accused of that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also as well, we were talking about Alice earlier, and you were saying that you'll only go back so far.
Yeah.
So any other information that we would pick up, we'd have to look back on. Try
really,
and find
it's
books.
very
difficult,
difficult.
yes,
It's very, very
especially with
difficult.
servants and the like, that really undecided
Yeah.
documentary.
Okay, all right, well,
documentation.
thank you very much for looking through that, and hopefully we'll come
Yes,
back to you
thank
again
you.
soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, well, we're with Team 3. Neil?
You know, we were
What are you planning to
looking
do
for a show to work in total darkness, and of course television cameras don't work in total darkness.
Right.
So we had to build it from the very beginning. And,
So if I'm to understand it, then the idea of this experiment is to try and attract the orbs and then take a photograph, okay, with the hope that they may say, for example...
Okay, what we were just talking about then with Alice, what was the other people that we've picked up? We was also, was there a Mary?
There was a Mary.
Yeah,
There was,
what was her role in the building?
she was a parlour maid.
Right.
Again.
Kitchen maid.
The kitchen
She
maid,
was a
so-
kitchen maid, yeah.
She was one
Again,
going
just
around
another
lighting all the
house,
fires.
yes, that's-
And also you've got a Mr Wilson as well.
Mr Wilson was...
Yeah, that was actually picked up by one of the clairvoyants.
Right.
And yes, of course, there was a Mr Wilson, a Victorian Mr Wilson who lived here.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Well, we're
Yeah.
now going to go back to Andy. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Neil, now we're here to try an experiment. Can you tell us a bit more what the experiment's about?
The experiment is to capture orbs
Yeah.
after a 10-minute silence in darkness to create the right conditions. We want to photograph them. We're also putting a camera outside of the door to see if we can capture fleeing orbs, like a sort of intelligence test.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, when I usually walk around and pick up something, you know, like an electrical charge or something and take a photograph, that's usually when I get an orb. I've never actually tried anything like this. Do you think it's going to be successful?
Fingers crossed.
Have you ever tried it before?
We have.
And?
Mixed results.
Oh, mixed results. OK, well, let's hope we can get something. OK, if you want to arrange your team, Neil, tell us what you're going to do and arrange everybody. OK, well, while he arranges his team, we're going to come back in 10 minutes, and we're going to run this experiment live. So let's see what happens.
We've probably looked at 85 to 90% of the evidence that's been offered to us and eliminated it as having a more rational or logical explanation. But it's that 10 to 15% that we can't find the logical explanation for that really intrigues me and that's driven us on.
Now, Graham, you are the co-founder of the Phantom or Fraud Project and you're an expert in paranormal photography. What exactly are we looking at here on this photograph that was caught a little time ago?
Well, this is what most of the team consider to be an orb, trying to determine exactly
When you say they
what
consider it
is.
an orb, what do you think orbs are?
Well, we have a difference of opinion, you see. From my point of view, this is something that's like an out-of-focus point of light.
Right.
And what that point of light actually is, whether it's a reflected piece of dust or whether it's something
So it may
that's
not be
an engine.
paranormal at all?
Well, I tend to sort of try and keep an open mind on these things, and there are many orbs that we get given to me. I mean, we got several tonight that, to me, appear to be just as dust.
How would you answer the question that's often put to people in the paranormal world that orbs didn't exist until digital cameras did?
Well, with any new piece of technology, you get all sorts of strange phenomena starting to appear. The digital camera phenomena is a very raw piece of technology. It's still being refined and modified. And as such, you're going to get all sorts of strange things appearing on the screen. Now, when we explain that, is that something that naturally exists, or is it something that's a fault with the camera?
We don't know at the moment.
Well, we've done various experiments to test out the theory that it's a fault within the camera.
Right.
And we've eliminated that.
Completely?
Basically, yes.
OK, so I suppose there's that famous saying that if you eliminate all other causes, what's left has got to be the truth.
Absolutely right.
OK, that's the end of part 2. Join us in part 3, when we'll be trying to catch live orbs and more evidence on camera. So join us then, if you dare.
The Phantom or Fraud Project now is probably one of the largest organisations in the world researching paranormal phenomena. We have a massive membership base, we run paranormal training courses. We're, I suppose, a source of information for a lot of the other smaller groups around the world. So it's become quite a phenomenon in its own right.
Stand by, and if you count 5, and we'll go there.
1, 2.
If you do it quietly.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now this is the piece where we've got the voice missing. You see, I actually said someone said okay, but the actual voice is gone. Yes, which is really odd, because I can't explain that at all. And then we recorded later on. We recorded Caroline's voice, just for comparison. Well, that's how it should have sounded.
It's clear then.
And it's totally missing here. Look.
Totally gone.
So here we are. We're just out in the outside of the room now. All the activity is supposed to be going on there. The theory is, according to those people in there, that we're going to get an orb coming flying through that door in about 8 minutes. It should be quite interesting.
Right.
Where do you stand on orbs, though, Chris? I mean, do you believe all this, or do you think it's just a load of fiction?
Well, to paraphrase Dr. McCoy, you know, I'm a psychologist, Jim. I'm not a camera technician. Now, I mean, from some camera experts that I've heard think that we're looking at kind of lens flare, we're looking at kind of bits of dust, we're looking at water droplets, and I think a lot of the time that is definitely what we are looking at.
Right.
Whether beyond that there's something more interesting, for the moment I'm not convinced.
How do you explain, for example, I mean, when people say it's dust, I've gone into a dusty room that's very dusty, an old house. Obviously, all these haunted houses are reasonably grubby and dusty. And I've taken photographs and I haven't got any orbs whatsoever.
Well, I think, again, it's going to depend on the specific conditions. I mean, I think one of the interesting things is we should actually always have a comparison condition.
Sure.
You know, we want to have a kind of situation where, OK, if we get orbs in a haunted house, do we also get them in houses that aren't haunted? Now, people have done those kind of studies, and guess what? Yes, you do. So, I mean, if you get your photographs back from Boots, and there's a few blobs on there, you just think, something's gone wrong. You don't think, wow, that's paranormal. But in the context of a haunted house, of course, then you may well think, whoa, what's that strange blob? And the context is all important.
Yeah, that's fine, but I mean, this digital camera replays the picture as soon as you've taken it. I've taken hundreds, probably thousands of photographs with this camera in my own home on holiday, at Christmas, weddings, well, not funerals, but etc. You know what I mean, family occasions, not funerals, folks. And I've never got an orb. I walk into a reputedly haunted house, wallop, there they are.
Well,
I can't explain that.
All I can say is that, I mean, there have been studies done where people have deliberately gone out and compared haunted locations. In other words, locations where people have strange experiences and others where that's not reported. And they say you don't get any difference. You get the kind of anomalies in both situations.
You don't quite convince me. I've been photographing these.
I didn't think I would.
No, I've been photographing these things for about 2.5, 3 years now, and I haven't got an explanation for it. I'm not saying it's ghost. I'm not saying it's a spirit. I believe it's something. It's an anomaly that we can't explain. But I don't really think that 100% of the time it is dust or pollen or anything else.
But what convinces you that it is something more than that? I mean, or alternatively, something that we just don't know yet, or just something a bit...
Well, the thing is, we've tried intelligence tests with these orbs, and that sounds nuts to anybody watching, but we have done it. Neil's trying an experiment out there. The group that we're with have tried experiments. Now, the way that works is to see whether one of these orbs will actually react to the situation that is going on in the room. For example, they're interacting with us. So if I photograph an orb there, and I get an orb, and then it flies out of the room and somebody gets an orb photograph in there, then obviously the orb has moved from one room to another. And we've also caught these on infrared video as well, which is remarkable footage.
Why don't we ever get them in Coronation Street? Why don't we get them in all this kind of, all this other footage that we're taking?
Well, that's orb-tastic. let's just see if the guys are ready. You ready, guys? Far away. Let's see that. Okay, they're going to start flashing in there.
Okay,
not literally, but with their cameras.
Let's see if I can get the orbs.
Yeah, go for it, Chris. Okay, let's wind out for you.
You set that up for me.
So if you get one, you're going to stop being a skeptic?
No.
Oh.
You tell me when to press, mate.
Right. Are they flashing you?
I'm not looking.
They are. Okay, stop. Far away.
Okay. Nothing.
Okay, keep going.
Just hold it down.
Keep going, yep.
Stand
back a bit, stand back a bit.
Okay.
And fire. Quick, get one.
There we go. Nope.
You got a lovely...
Try again.
Yeah, you got a lovely picture of an oak door. Okay, all right, well, let's see. There's another guy at the other end. Let's see what he's got, and we'll come to some kind of conclusion at the end of it. Anyway. Thanks very much, Chris.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
John, if you'd like to get the tripod and set it up in the corner of the room here, then we have it pointing the door and get the rest of the room in.
No worries.
Have you done temperature readings around the room yet?
No, I'll start doing them now.
Okay, then. Are you picking anything up on your EMF?
Not really.
No. Okay. Do you want to start with the EVP recordings?
Yeah, sure.
By getting some fresh tapes out to put into a dictaphone?
Yep, no problem.
Anything?
No, not that picture.
What about on the other camera? Have you picked anything up on that one?
I have on this one, yeah.
Let's have a
Took
look.
few. Picked up one round you earlier. And one round Helen. You can see there's just one on.
Sophie, we're live in a haunted house, but do you really believe all this ghost rubbish?
Yes, ghosts don't exist. And
Why?
I know because and also you saw one earlier.
I didn't see a ghost, I saw something that I can't explain, and there was no door, there was no way that if it was a person, they could have got away. But you saw it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did see it. It was a ghost.
But you believe in them already?
Yeah, but what else
Is
could
it just
been?
wishful thinking?
No, it's not wishful thinking. It was a ghost and you know it.
OK, well, maybe we'll change our mind if we
Your
survive
mind.
right the way through till tomorrow morning.
Paul is going on to 5.
There's something actually quite strange is going on in one part of the building. We're not quite sure what it is yet. Perhaps somebody will let us know. In the Dutch room, yeah, upstairs, so perhaps that's a sign
It's the ghost that's come back.
Are you sure?
It's the... What else could it be?
You want to believe too much, I'm sorry, you do.
It is. He doesn't believe in it.
You have, yeah, but you have a sort of blind faith to this. You want to believe that after we die, there's something more, something beyond, which I suppose most people do, so...
There has to be something more than this.
Why does there have to be?
Because they just... I don't believe that that's it. You live on this earth and then you die and that's it. There's got to be something after for you to go
But that
to.
could just be wishful thinking. I mean,
No.
can you not just accept the point that we are flesh, bones and blood, and when we drop, that's it?
Yes, but you've got a soul, and your soul has to go somewhere. You can't just die and that's it. You've got to have a soul to go somewhere. And I believe that you've got to go somewhere. So...
But you actually believe in the soul. I mean, you've said there the word soul, so you obviously
Yes.
believe we have a soul.
Yes.
But what's your basis for believing that?
My basis is because everybody has one. That is your body,
Yeah.
okay, and inside that is you as a person.
Okay.
Okay, this doesn't make you. Your inside makes you, which is your soul. Okay, so when you die, this is just your shell for you to walk around on this earth on, as they say.
Right.
Okay, so each of us have something which makes us who we are, individual, and that's what goes to the next life. As far as I might be wrong, but that's
so you're admitting
I'm
you
not.
might
Yeah,
be
but I'm not.
wrong.
I'm not. You know, I'm not a medium.
But
and
you
I can't
do
say I'm
believe?
totally right. Yeah, I totally believe. There's got to be something. Everything, all the strange things that have happened in here and in other places.
And you've
in the
had-
world.
yeah, I was gonna say-
I've had experience. I've felt something before. And I felt I've seen something before as well. But this can't be it. There's got to be a heaven. This is hell. This place is...
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Perhaps it's not as brilliant as it could be sometimes. But you're known as Psychic Sophie, so are you really psychic?
Like I said, I do palmistry and I do...
I'm joking,
I do
I'm joking.
psychometry.
What is psychometry?
Psychometry is when you actually hold someone's jewellery and you can get vibes from them. You can...
What's the theory of why that actually works?
It's just the feelings that you're feeling comes through from your jewellery, and because you wear it all the time, it just holds emotions that you're feeling. That's
But
what
surely,
makes
if
sense.
you're talking about a piece of jewellery such as a ring or a necklace, it's either leather or it's metal. How on earth can that tell you anything about how I'm feeling or anything about me?
It just the emotions. And
Yeah, but how?
You don't know. I'm not.
It just does.
It just does. I don't know the scientific part of it. I just know that I can do it, and that's what I can do. You know.
And have you always had this gift?
Well, my mum's got the gift, and I've just learned from her, and it just goes.
So you've inherited it?
Yeah.
It's in your blood.
It is in my blood.
so
But
to
I want to
speak.
know, why are you such a cynic? Why don't you believe in it?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I used to believe in ghosts and things like this. I've seen images of things in front of me which I can't explain, which some people would call ghosts. But I'm not now somebody that will subscribe to the fact that those are spirits of dead people that we're actually seeing. I think it's much more likely to be something from our mind as an exteriorisation.
So you have seen ghosts. You've seen ghosts.
I didn't say that.
Heat at first, but not a lot of it. But as soon as you started increasing pressure from your side, I started getting a lot of pressure. And if I curled my hand up, there was a lot of pressure on the palm of my hand, right in the centre. and it felt like something pushing in. It was quite strong.
Quite intense.
Yeah.
Right, do you want me to try again?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm here with Norrie Miles. Norrie, something strange has just been happening in one of the rooms. What's been going on?
Yes, we were sitting around the table doing EVPs and taking photographs. The torch has rolled off the table. It's fallen onto its side.
Rolled off the table, literally.
Yes. It actually banged on the table, and we felt out on the table to see what it was, and it rolls along the table and onto the floor. We tried to recreate it by banging and pushing the table, but it doesn't fall over.
And you actually saw this with your own eyes?
We've actually got it on DV tape and sent it downstairs.
Good Lord. And I take it you've photographed some amazing orbs in there as well?
Yes, I've got some fantastic orbs.
Well, can we get a shot of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, if the viewers at home can see that, that is quite remarkable. Now, I've seen these before, but that is very, very bright. How many have you got in there, Norrie?
The amount of orbs?
Yeah.
I would say we've got about 6 brilliant white orbs.
So that's quite exciting stuff.
Yes, well, we don't put these ones down to dust. We've got lots that we have put down to dust.
Right. What about that? You say it's kind of you've actually experienced poltergeist activities. What you're saying was this something you've felt before or experienced before? Is it something completely new to you?
No, we have experienced poltergeist activity before on other investigations, but we can't explain this at all. We cannot. It's unexplainable. As we say, we tried to reconstruct it, and we can't get it to fall over by moving and banging the table. So it's unexplainable.
That's incredible stuff. Let's hope we get some more. We're going to keep looking and keep investigating. Okay, we're coming back after the break. Keep viewing. It's getting exciting. You never know. We may get some more activity.
We're going to try and attract orbs. Now, how are we going to do that, Marion?
Well, basically, all we're doing here is sitting and trying to push out an energy. Do you remember what I was saying to you about when we were walking around, how you can feel that energy? Well, we're trying to do that here.
So you're drawing it from yourself, putting it into the atmosphere, a bit like a battery?
Yes, a bit like a battery.
And you're all doing that?
And we're all doing it together.
Okay.
We've already had a vibration in the floor that could be detected by people outside of the group. Right. So we know that there's the energy here.
When you say vibration in the floor, do you mean you could actually feel it?
Yes, absolutely. You could actually feel it.
Wow.
So,
Paul, you're doing the same thing. Do you have a sort of different mechanism of working? How are you drawing the energy out of yourself?
No, I work in exactly
same
the
way.
same way to Maz.
And Diana, what about you? You flash flesh in order to get the spirits to come out?
It doesn't work on the living, Jason, so it's not going to work on the dead.
Okay, so you're doing the same thing seriously though, guys. So what you're actually doing is putting energy into the environment. We've got people around taking photographs in the attempt to catch the orbs.
We've already caught some. Already, just as soon as we came in,
right.
we've got orbs straight away. I sent someone behind Michael, he was a gentleman, and Adam took the photograph and bang, we've got him.
So is that evidence?
Well, it's enough evidence for me.
It's interesting anyway.
Yeah, it's enough evidence for me, and I can feel the energy around here building and building.
Okay.
It's amazing.
When we normally see this kind of setup, normally on films or on TV shows, we see people holding hands. Does that actually help with the energy build-up at all?
I think for novices, it does
Not
help.
like you, of course. You don't need it.
But all of us are in tune, if you like, and we know that we're pushing the energy around the group, and we can each one of us feel so much energy here in the middle.
What about the equipment? I mean, we've obviously got a TV crew here tonight. Does that affect the energies that you're talking about?
Well, obviously, it does. It does affect it.
Is that a good effect or
no,
a bad
it's quite negative, because I feel spirits sense the energy, and if you can sit in a calm and controlled environment, then spirit will get used to you, come around and have a little nosy, see what you're doing.
What do the spirits actually think of what we're doing here? I mean, we've come to investigate them. What's their kind of
I just think they think we're absolutely nutcases.
Well, we probably are, but are they open to it? Are we sort of welcome here?
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
What I was trying to do was concentrate on the energy in the circle when people were moving around. I was saying, stay, keep the energy, keep focused. And that's what I was trying to do with the group. I was telling them to stay focused, keep focused.
Okay. Well, we're actually going to go back to the studio now, I believe, down to Andy. We're going to actually turn the lights off now and see if the experiment actually works and see if we do catch any of those orbs. So we'll do that now.
I am so jealous. You felt that I wasn't there. I keep missing out. And everything you guys experience, I always miss it. How was that feeling for you up there?
It was incredible up there. I mean, I wasn't actually in the room when it kicked off, but when I last went up that room, there's a smell of perfume and like a burning candle, and there's no candles up there. And it's really strange. We've had a torch roll off the table, fall off the floor, a door open and shut by itself, and it's still going on up there. So, you know, the guys are up there doing an experiment in the dark. I don't know what room they're in, but I think they're in the wrong room. They should be in that Dutch room. It all seems to be...
And that's where everything is coming from, is from there. Do you know, do any of the history books say anything that actually happened in that Dutch room? Was there anything bad that happened in there?
I've got no idea at all. I'll have to ask the researchers on that. But there's definitely some kind of activity going on up there. I mean, you know, it's easy to jump to imagination.
Hi, guys.
But you missed it, Jason.
I missed
torches rolling off the table by
gutted.
themselves.
Well, it was interesting because they were talking about the different energies. I felt absolutely nothing, I have to say, at that point. You didn't even feel the vibration in the ground. But has anything else happened? Have I missed anything else?
Yeah, there's a smell of burning candles up there.
And we've got candles here.
Yeah, but there's no candles upstairs. That's the thing. And there's loads of orbs up there. There's loads of orbs.
Loads of orbs.
Everywhere. Go up and have a look.
I did. I didn't see them.
Go up there, sit in a darkened room for 10 minutes and let's see what happens.
You will believe. We will make you believe.
Is that a threat or a promise?
No, it's a promise. It's definitely a promise.
OK, so are we any nearer, do you think, Andy, you're sort of the investigator of the team here? Are we any nearer to an answer to the riddle of the supernatural and ghosts?
Right, to be fair, all I've seen is a door open and close by itself. The footage that they got upstairs is going through the computer now, and hopefully it'll be, the viewers at home will be able to see it. So until I see it myself, I can't actually say whether it's paranormal or, you know, natural phenomena. I mean, things roll off tables all the time in some people's houses.
Oh, yeah, but I heard that. There was like a torch that fell off a table. Could that not just be because it's round?
Absolutely. It could be. Until we've actually seen the footage, there's supposed to be flying orbs flying around on video. They've captured them on stills camera as well. So until we actually look at it, review it...
And anyway, we can't call them orbs. We've got to call them fabulous globes, I was told.
Fabulous globes.
Categorically.
Can we get away with that?
Did you know anything about the Dutch room? Is there anything in the historic?
I'd have to go through the records to find out.
To see.
But nothing.
It'd be interesting to find out.
Nothing
there must
comes
be something.
to my mind. There's a lot of rooms in this house.
Yeah, true.
Still lots of digging to do, I suppose, with the research there. I suppose your job really never ends, does it?
No.
You have your head buried in books constantly. OK, so we're not really any closer at this point. Professor Christopher French, you've been here with us in our investigation tonight. Have you witnessed or experienced anything you can't explain?
No, I'm sorry.
Nothing
no,
at all?
not at all.
Just being
maybe I've been in the
cold.
wrong place at the wrong time. I'll look at the footage, but no.
What about the fact that it's Halloween? I mean, people expect to see things on Halloween, don't they?
Exactly,
Do you think that's made a difference?
I think, I mean, it is, yeah. I mean, I think you can, yeah, because it's Halloween, we all wanted something to happen, even me.
You've got a photograph of a door, Chris.
I've got a great photograph of a door.
Fantastic. So it was worth coming,
I'm going to do this every Halloween from now on. It's fantastic. Beat Scooby-Doo any day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you've seen nothing that convinces you just yet, but you're still open-minded?
As ever.
Maybe.
As ever.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be a couple more years before we can change his view, I think. And you.
But we're going to keep trying, aren't we, for both me and...
Yeah.
Well, I did see something, I have to say, live on TV, that I did see something up there I can't explain, as you brought up, and you said...
Yes, but as the viewers know, you are a bit of a cynic. So I think even if a ghost come up to you and went, boo, you still wouldn't believe it. Do you not?
Yeah. No, I just think I was deluded.
Just like that one standing behind your back there. See?
No, I'm not convinced.
No. I honestly don't think that no matter what you see or what you experience, you will never believe in it. I mean, so much has happened.
Are you saying I'm closed-minded?
Yeah, I do.
I'm siding with Christopher.
I'm
open-minded and prepared, but there is, at this point, I think I can say no evidence.
Hang on, okay, so we've had a door that's opened by itself. We've had
a torch that's rolled across the table.
Round.
We've seen 3 things go across it, and you still...
Plus the smell of candles and perfume. Plus there's stuff still going on up there as we speak.
We're going to be here, though, a little bit after the programme, so is there any possibility that once the cameras get turned off, do you think that there'll be more activity?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I think we should do? We should lock Jason in the Dutch room for like
on my own?
On his own, 15 minutes. Let's see if he believes in it or not.
OK, fine.
Can we treat it against
Indy.
ours? No.
No.
Okay.
I think we should lock you up there, because you're the one that believes everything.
Yeah, I'm no
And have you screaming through the hallways.
Of course, it might just be because we're the sceptics.
It could be. You're sending out such a negative attitude.
But I don't have a negative attitude. I'm just realistic.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, I used to believe this stuff, but having looked at various ghost stories and stayed in various places over the years, I've come to the conclusion that it isn't real, and there really isn't enough evidence to support it. You, on the other hand, are quite the opposite, aren't you?
To a certain degree. I'm sort of 70% swaying towards belief. You've always got to keep that 30% of doubt there, otherwise it's no use being a paranormal investigator. You know, you've got to go with your feet on the floor and you've got to question everything, which is what I'm going to do when I see that footage from the Dutch room. Until I see it, I can't make any more comments on it. But, you know, you can't rule out the possibility until you've actually viewed the evidence and weighed up the pros and cons and what it could be.
But you want it to be true, don't you?
Oh, God,
you want it to be real.
I can see it in your
eyes.
I'd love there to be life after death. I mean, it'd be a pretty boring life, you know, if you just hang around for sort of 70 years.
What Sophie said. But is it not all to do with simply wanting, as I say, to believe that there is something more than us, and that's all it is?
It's until you've actually experienced certain things, then you're never going to believe anyway.
But isn't it true, and I'm not a psychologist as yourself, Christopher, but isn't it true that human beings need to believe in something else other than our flesh and body?
Of course.
And therefore, would I be right in saying that may be a reason why people want and need to believe in ghosts, that their motivation is actually wrong?
I think that's right. I mean, you know, we'd all love to believe that there is life after death, and therefore we don't need particularly strong evidence to support that. You know, we find it easy to believe things we want to believe.
Now, you're an expert. You're an expert. You believe. I don't. But we have got two scrutineers here with us today. Now, they are members of the public who have actually come along. One of them is a believer. One of them is not. We don't know which is which yet. So come over, guys. And you've been here all night. Sorry, what's your name?
Kim.
Kim, hi. Are you the believer or the skeptic?
I'm the believer.
So you believed already. What do you believe now?
I've actually seen orbs.
You've seen them. Fantastic. So you believe. Well, thanks very much, everybody. We'll leave you there beavering away tonight. I'm sure you're going to be there for some time to come yet. So have we changed your perception of ghosts? Is the supernatural all that, or is it just the natural world we don't currently understand? We'll leave that for you to decide. But don't have a restless night. Always remember that it's the living you have to worry about, not the dead. Happy Halloween and thanks for watching. Good night. So guys, a good show. I'm still sceptical, I am. Yeah, thank you, thanks for coming. Yeah. I'm still not convinced by you, though.
We will make you believe.
Will you?
You will believe.
There's no time left for that now. It's home time.